Hello, everyone. My name is Quinlan and welcome to Melbourne Musos Facechook Live. Well, that's been a bit of a sad week, but I hope I can cheer you up a little bit. Okay, what I'd like to talk about tonight is three dear people. Sadly, the jazz composer Carla Bley passed away on the 17th, just a few days ago. And that sent me back to me coming up as a starving jazz musician in the late 70s and getting involved with all the music that was going out. I put up a post on Facechookeries last night when I was watching dear Dom Famularo interviewing one of my favourite jazz drummers, Jack DeJohnette. So much so that I bought the Sonophonic kit back in the day. I said, I want that. I want what he's having, that kind of thing. And he's still with us, don't get me wrong, but I just loved his sound. And that's what I tell my students so often is, oh, Chris, I'm going to upgrade my kit. What should I get? You know, that kind of business. I said, well, who's your favourite drummer? And go and have a look at all your CDs and you'll listen to the drum sounds and then you'll find, you'll zero in. And that goes back to, when I mentioned dear Paul Mosum, if you're there, and Murray Hyde, when they, I had my kit, everything was going, and then when the show hit and all that, they said, how come you're not playing DW? Every one of your favourite drummers is playing DW. And I said, you're right, it is. Doris, 27 years on, there you go. But tonight, I want to talk about, I'm going to obviously talk about dear Carla Bley. Half my vinyl in the other room is all that era of Jack DeJohnette, that sound he's got, the flat ride sound. I used to have one, and my dear mate Kevin Denali's got it now. I should have driven over and said, I need to borrow it for tonight, kind of thing. How you going, Kev? How's everybody? Hey, time for a catch-up. And that sound, it's so provocative and everything, was the ECM sound is what it came to be. Okay, so there's that. I've got a little bit of a thing here that I'll get into in a little bit with Jack DeJohnette, Ralph Towner on guitar, and Eddie Gomez on bass, and it's this ethereal, beautiful album called Batik, and it runs through it. So I'm going to show you through all that in a little bit. But first of all, I'm going to talk about Carla Bley, born Lovella May Borg, May 11, 1936 to October 17, 2023, just the other day. Was an American jazz composer, pianist, organist, and band leader. An important figure in the free jazz movement of the 1960s. I got into the free jazz movement in Melbourne in the late 70s into the 80s. It was free jazz because no one paid us. And there you go. She was perhaps best known for her jazz opera Escalator Over the Hill, released as a triple LP set, as well as a book of compositions that have been performed by many other artists, including Gary Burton, Jimmy Guiffert, George Russell, Art Farmer, John Schofield, and her ex-husband, Paul Bley. Littered through the real book, the naughty one, which we all had in the day, and so on it goes. She was a pioneer in the development of independent artist-owned record labels and recorded over 24 albums between 1966 and 2019. Okay. Sadly, brain cancer, and she was 87, so a wonderful long life, and there it is. There you go. Career. A number of musicians began to record Bley's compositions. George Russell recorded Bent Eagle for his album Stratus Funk in 1960. Jimmy Guiffert recorded Ictus on his album Thesis, and Paul Bley's Barrage consisted entirely of her compositions. Throughout her career, Bley thought of herself as a writer first, describing herself as 99% composer, 1% pianist. In 1964, she was involved in organising the Jazz Composers Guild. I've got a few of those vinyls in the other room, which brought together the most innovative musicians in New York at the time. She then had a personal and professional relationship with Michael Mantler. I've got a couple of his albums with Cecil Taylor. That was, oh boy, bang, bang, full blown. Okay, and had a daughter, Karen Mantler, who also became a musician. Bley and Mantler were married from 65 to 1965 to 1991. With Mantler, she co-led the Jazz Composers Orchestra and started the JCOA record label, which issued a number of historic recordings by Clifford Thornton, Don Cherry and Rosal Rudd, as well as her own magnus opus, Escalator Over the Hill, and Mantler's The Jazz Composers Orchestra. There you are. That's what goes on. Now, I'm going to move on a little bit. Down here, I'm reading it. I've got a genuine Tong funeral for vibraphonist Gary Burton. I have that in the other room. Blake collaborated with a number of other artists, including Jack Bruce, Robert White, and Nick Mason, drummer for the rock group Pink Floyd. I actually didn't know that. There you go. Mason's solo debut album, Nick Mason's Fictitious Sports, was written entirely by Bley. So all you Pink Floyd dudes who've got that album, there's Carla Bley right there for you. There you go. And features alongside Mason on drums. Many of her regular band musicians, leading Brian Olwinick of All Music, consider it a Carla Bley album in all but name. There you go. And that's what goes on there. That's Carla Bley. And her and one of my favourite jazz drummers in Jack DeJohnette often crossed paths during those days. And now I'm going to go to get into a little bit of that with Jack DeJohnette. But before I do that, I'm just getting there now. Now what happens is that when you're doing things like this, when I start talking about these dear people, and I'm about to talk about Jack DeJohnette, and then after that, I'm going to talk a little bit about Manfred Eicher, who started up the ECM label, for which both Carla Bley and Jack DeJohnette, who's almost the house drummer, worked with. So it's like this wonderful triangle of musicians that go in and out and stuff. Now, with Jack DeJohnette, I'll read about him in a bit, but first of all, I better play a little bit. And when you're talking about good old jazz, you've got the jazz rhythm. Now, it takes on different phases depending on your speed. A lot of people have said often jazz is triplets. If you're doing it slow, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. If you're doing it extra slow, 1 again, 2 again, you know, you bring it back to semiquavers, you see. And then what happens if you really pick it up? It's straight ahead. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. And now I'm going to go a little bit technical on you. Okay. Now what happens is when you're really starting to get some up jazz, like, you know, up bop, and some of the things that happen, you know, on ECM with Jack DeJohnette's trademark ECM sound on the cymbal, flat ride. This is a Byzance, minor Byzance. There you go. Not bad. Not bad, I love it. It's a triple tap. Now what happens, I'll give you a little tip. What happens is when you're playing some up there kind of business, you'd often see a drummer almost playing a single stroke roll like this. Like, see, like that, see? And then you put your little, get the edges going, you know, that kind of stuff. 3 main sides. You can have the bell, got the riding area, of course. And then if this particular one is 20 inch, so it doubles as a crash as well, so you can lay into a bit. Triple tap. There's a little bit of the trigger happening with the first finger, you see. There it is. Now, how can you get a triple tap? Well, what happens is there's the first thing you could do is have a triple stroke roll, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, and instead of the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 as you start, but you want to try and get one movement and get 3 taps out of it. See? And then, you know, bring it back. We can do things like flam taps. 3 taps there. Get it all going, and that's what goes on. You see, you get a bit of technique there. And then what happens is there's a little bit of a thing you can do. It does require a little bit of a coordination thing. But if you're going to put the hi-hat in on your, you know, your 2 and 4, I'll go down to boot cam down here. Hello. And the heel-toe method. Heel-toe, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then sort of work it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heel-toe, 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 heel-toe. Not so much heel toe there, it's just toe really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what happens is I'm going into the next little part here, and I'll talk about Jack DeJohnette a bit, who's still with us. I was watching him, as I said earlier, with Dom Famularo just last night, being interviewed by him in Dom Famularo's The Sessions. There it is there. Now I'll talk about Jack DeJohnette. Jack DeJohnette, born August 9th, 1942, is an American jazz drummer, pianist and composer. Known for his extensive work as leader and sideman for musicians including Charles Lloyd, Freddie Hubbard, Keith Jarrett, Bill Evans, John Abercrombie, Alice Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, Miles Davis, Joe Henderson, Michael Brecker, Pat Metheny, Herbie Hancock and John Schofield. DeJohnette was inducted into the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame in 2007. He has won 2 Grammy Awards and been nominated for 5 others. Wow. That's everybody. He's played with everybody. There you go. He's born in Chicago, Illinois. There you go. And essentially African-American heritage, but there's a little bit of, it says here, Seminole Native American ancestry, specifically Seminole and Crow. He began his musical career as a pianist, studying from age 4 with Antoinette Rich, the leader of an all-female symphony orchestra in Chicago, and first playing professionally at the age of 14. There you go, wacko. All right, now there's all that business there. He's played at everything, you know, that kind of thing, and just the list keeps on going. Ooh! So check him out, please. There you go. When he was with Miles Davis, before then he was with Bill Evans, and he had a beautiful touch with the brushes. And then he got into Miles Davis during the Electric period. Bitches Brew, he's on that, which I've mentioned over the last few weeks. I love my continuity and all that. And he's playing... Where's 1? 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 3 4 1 2 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2. Oh, I love it very much. There you go. And then so with the timeline, he's on a number of Miles Davis albums. I got them all on vinyl again. I whipped them out the other week. Dark Magus and all that. He's not on that one. Sorry, I pull that back. That's Al Foster. But Bitches Brew, as I said, things like that. There you go. Check him out. Beautiful. There you are. Now, one of the things he's famous for is that ride cymbal sound. So what happens is in the late 60s, Manfred Eicher started ECM Records. I'm going to talk about him in a minute as well. I want to try and get them all three in, and I don't want to take away 1 second of this show, so I'm finishing at 6:25, so everything's right there. I'm going to do my best anyway. And what it is he started with ECM Records. It was his home record label that Manfred Eicher started up. And that sound, that triple tap. Now, I'll get a wriggle on. What happens is once you've got that triple tap down, now when you first hear it, there's the typical, as I explained, the phases of a jazz rhythm, and we're getting up to 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. But you can go a little bit further with this, because once you've actually got that triple tap happening, it's a little bit like a garden trigger. Like that. Go. I'll put it up there later. And what it is you start thinking like this a little bit. Okay, this is just a little tip. You're just thinking of as just one stroke, because it sort of is. It's just a movement like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're doing that, you can syncopate it a bit. And one of the things I was doing with one of my students just last night, because he was asking me about these kinds of things because of his school music program. There's a bit of innovative stuff going on at his school. And the good old calypso. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then what you've got is this. A lot of people say leave the hi-hat for the band, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And what you can do when you're really playing fast stuff, it's almost like you're playing a single stroke roll between the cymbals, right hand and left foot. So it'll be like this. I'll have boot cam up for you later on, but if you've got this, ooh, there it is. All right, I'll get a wriggle on now, and I've talked about Jack DeJohnette very quickly. I've given you a little bit of that's a bit more of a technical thing. Please go check him out. Just go into Wikipedia, wherever you need to go, read about his life, get onto YouTube, even better still, buy the albums. And what happens is that it's just a level of consistency through so many years and all that. And his relationship with ECM Records goes back to when ECM Records started up. And that sound on a flat ride is almost a trademark sound, that kind of thing. So now I'm going to go to Manfred Eicher. Born 9th of July 1943, is a German record producer and founder of ECM Records. He was born, as I said, 9th of July 1943. He is currently 80 in Lindau, Germany. He was born. 1969 to present. There you are. There it is, life and career. Very quickly. Eicher was born in Lindau, Germany. He studied music at the Academy of Music in Berlin. He started as a double bass player of classical music and became a record producer. In 1969, he founded ECM Records, Edition of Contemporary Music in Munich. Some of the jazz artists he has recorded over more than 50 years of his career include everyone, okay? There it is. Just everybody. Paul Bley, Keith Jarrett, John Abercrombie, Jan Garbarek, Egberto Gismonti. I've got that one. Mountainscape. It's almost heavy metal, but on double bass. Chick Corea, Gary Burton, Jack DeJohnette, Anul Braham, Dave Holland. I roadied for Dave Holland once upon a time. There you go. Back in 1980 with my Ford XY wagon. There you go. I drove him everywhere. He's a lovely man. Pat Metheny, Ralph Turner, Terj Ripdale, Steve Kuhn, Eberhard Weber, John Hassel and the Art Ensemble of Chicago, who I adore. They're fantastic. Bang. They came out and did the Dallas Brooks Hall in 1978. And as a young whippersnapper, I was just absolutely fascinated. And because they were so out there, Roscoe Mitchell just started with circular breathing on his sax. And he just kept it going. And people went, what the hell? And he just kept this note going with circular breathing. Same as a didgeridoo, you know, that kind of thing. And he just kept it going. And it was the central part of that first piece. And it was just wonderful. And then a whole bunch of old jazzers, watch this shit, and they all walked out. Why would you turn up? That's the Art Ensemble of Chicago, you... The Colne Concert from ECM, Keith Jarrett. A solo piano performance by Keith Jarrett, recorded and released by ECM in 1975, became the all-time best-selling jazz solo piano album. I've got that there as well. I'm just talking about my youth tonight, is what it is. And there you go. That's Manfred Eicher. I've tried to do Dear Carla Bley, arguably my favourite jazz drummer, Jack DeJohnette, one or two of the techniques there. And then to finish off tonight, Manfred Eicher. And they're all connected, okay? Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And what goes on with that is that, you know, if I go back to how I started, and this is the Trope app, Brian Eno. And then, like you heard with Batik, very quiet. Getting the idea of it? Oi! I'll love and leave you. My name is Chris Quinlan. This is a dedication to three wonderful people. Dear Carla Bley, passed away just a few days ago, 87 years old, wonderful composer. Jack DeJohnette, who I love and adore. That's why I'm doing the triple tap. Different ways to get there. And then the linchpin in the middle, Manfred Eicher, who has this incredible prolific output as a producer. So many, we're into, you know, we've clicked over the 1,000 albums that he's released, you know, that kind of thing. And it's a mainstay for jazz, European jazz. There you go. Anyway, take care, everyone. There you go. And I hope you enjoyed the show, and there it is. Take care. I'll have all this up tomorrow, 4 cameras, and then I suppose I better say one thing. This is when it goes to Dear Channel 31 and Melbourne Musos, it will be show 900. And there you go. I need to lay down after saying that. And what it is since 1995, and the opportunity to talk about people that have influenced me so much. There you go. All right. Take care, hey? All right. There it is. Eat.